So, ice what? Whoa, whoa, baby, poke it out, poke it out, poke it out.
What is up, everyone? So thank you for everybody that tuned into the stream yesterday. It was a lot of fun. I loved having y'all there, even though we were going through a lot of technical difficulties for whatever reason, but we got that all figured out and we still had a good time. So today I have a pretty interesting video for y'all. This is the first video that's coming out when it's actually scheduled. This video is going to be the Life After Drew Brees video. I did this one last year, but I didn't really know as much as I do this year, and I didn't really put as much effort into it as I thought I could. So I have some things written out that I can talk about in this video because this is going to be a very interesting scenario. Once Drew Brees retires, we're losing one of the best of all time, and of course it's going to affect any team in the NFL. Any team is going to get hit by losing a first ballot Hall of Fame quarterback. So there's obviously going to be a bit of a problem with that, but I think the Saints and Sean Payton can handle what's going to happen when Drew Brees retires. So with all that being said, let's get into the video. I'm not going to hold you guys from this one. Before we get into what's going to happen when Drew Brees leaves, let's go ahead and look at the things he's accomplished while in a New Orleans Saints uniform. So I'm going to have to look at my paper for this one because there are just a lot of records. This man has broken a lot of records, but these are just 9 of them. I picked out 9 of my favorite, but there are plenty more. I'm telling you, there are so many more. So number 1, he has beaten every single team in the NFL. Only Peyton Manning and Brett Favre have done that also. He's in the 500 touchdown club. He's going to pass that here soon. He's the leader for all-time passing yards. He has the most touchdown passes to undrafted free agent players, 12 touchdowns to 9 players in 2018. He has the highest career completion percentage at 67.2%. He has the most consecutive seasons with 4,500 yards, 7 of them from 2010 to 2016. He has the most completions in NFL history. He has the highest single-season completion percentage at 74.4%, and he has the most 5,000-yard seasons with 5. There are 9 5,000-yard seasons in NFL history, and Drew Brees owns 5 of them. That is ridiculous. As we all know, Drew Brees is one of the greatest quarterbacks in NFL history by far, if not the greatest quarterback in NFL history. But because of his Super Bowl problems, his team problems, he has not really been given a chance to be thrown into the GOAT conversation. But he's definitely in there for anyone that is logical. Take Aaron Rodgers out, put him in there because Drew Brees is definitely better. The Saints are going to take a significant hit once Drew Brees retires, and in this video, we're going to hypothetically say that we go ahead, win it all, and Drew Brees retires next season. With Drew Brees retiring in the 2020 season, our cap space sits at $139,657,393. Now, you might be thinking, oh my God, we're in cap space heaven. Well, we have to re-sign some pretty big players. This isn't the whole list of players we re-signed, but I have all of the players that are free agents that are, that matter. And then I wrote out a contract, just a random little number, to help put a dent in our cap space and see what we'll have after we re-sign all of our free agents. So the first free agent is Michael Thomas. I think this can fluctuate heavily depending on what Julio Jones and other wide receivers get up until this point. But I think Michael Thomas right now would get a 5-year, $120 million deal. A big contract, but enough so that the team is sustainable. Michael Thomas is more focused on team success than individual pocket change. But getting him $120 million is just enough to be happy and satisfied with money. The next player we have as a free agent is Drew Brees, but with my hypothetical, he will not be playing with us after this season, so we don't have to spend any money there. The next player we have is quarterback Teddy Bridgewater. Now, if the Saints want to keep Teddy Bridgewater, we're going to have to pay him a nice chunk of change. He re-signed with us for a lowball price of $7 million this year. The Dolphins were offering him much higher to have a starting role in Miami, but he said, no, I'm going to sit here, I'm going to sit on the bench, and I'm going to succeed after Drew Brees. I think with how screwed up the quarterback market is, the quarterback market is screwed. It is so overpriced. We would pay Teddy Bridgewater a 3-year, $60 million deal. That's $20 million a year. Hear me out, okay? Teddy Bridgewater is no longer going to be a bench quarterback. We were paying him $7 million to sit on our bench. Giving Teddy Bridgewater $20 million a year is a safe bet to see, first of all, if he's going to succeed in New Orleans. It'll be a 3-year period, so we can draft a quarterback if we need to, but it won't put the biggest dent ever in our cap space. I think that giving Teddy Bridgewater a 3-year, $60 million is extremely smart. The next player we have is David Onyemata. David Onyemata has been a pretty solid player on our defensive line, so I say we give him a 2-year, $6 million deal. That is $3 million a year. Von Bell would get a 3-year, $15 million deal. We would let Andreas Pete and AJ Klein go and dabble in the draft to find their replacements. And Meredith, it just depends. Maybe a 2-year, $5 million deal, if anything. It just depends. So, with our $139 million cap space, we're going to subtract all of the numbers that I just mentioned and see what we have afterwards. I'll get back to y'all whenever I do that. Well, after doing all of that math, the final cap space we will have after re-signing all of our important players in the offseason of 2020 is $89,157,393. This is, of course, off of rough estimates. It can be anywhere from $89 million to $50 million. You never know. But with what I just did, we will have around $89 million. Like I said, all of these contracts will fluctuate. These are just, what ifs. Life after Drew Brees isn't going to be too difficult. We have enough money to build a sustainable team that can work with Teddy Bridgewater. We can get him better receivers if needed, better defensive pieces if needed, and our team is so young that this blow will not hit us as much as everybody thinks it will. I believe that moving on from Drew Brees is going to be a extremely sad moment in Saints history. It's going to be the closing of many, many, many doors that have been open for a long, long time. 10s of 20s of years. Drew Brees is that guy in New Orleans. He is the one that came into our city and single-handedly revived it after one of the worst natural disasters in the history of the world. It's going to suck. It's going to suck more than I can sit here and explain that it's going to suck. Life after Drew Brees is going to be a sad time, but listen, Saints fans, be excited. Be excited for the road ahead because it is bright. We have an extremely young team, and I'm sure Drew Brees is going to be more than happy to pass the torch to Teddy Bridgewater. He's sitting there learning under him. He's going to be ready. Do I think there's going to be a competition within Teddy Bridgewater and Taysom Hill? Most likely. I think they're going to have a long preseason of battling out on the field legitimately and seeing who's the more viable fit, but I think Teddy Bridgewater is that guy. Sean Payton's confidence in Teddy Bridgewater is through the roof. You don't just, go out of your way and re-sign that player just because he believes in Teddy Bridgewater, and we should too. With all of that being said, I understand losing an all-time great quarterback is going to be one of the most painful things all of us have ever experienced. We have had a couple heartbreaking years in a row, all of those which Drew Brees has experienced, so losing him is not going to be a fun feat. But I'm telling you guys, listen to me. There's a pot of gold under the rainbow. There's a brighter grass patch. It's brighter at the other side of the hill, man. We have money. We are going to have a lot of money to spend next offseason. A lot to sign players in free agency, re-sign the ones we need to re-sign, and become an extremely young and good overall core team. Our defense is extremely young. I think the oldest player on our defense might be Cameron Jordan. We don't have very many old players on defense or on offense either, or oldest starting player, We are young. We are vibrant. We have extremely good chemistry. I don't see anything bad coming out of this. I do see a drop-off in offensive production, but with Alvin Kamara, man, we have players to survive the exit of Drew Brees. And once Teddy Bridgewater gets comfortable, we're going to be right back where we were. Will we go through a little bit of a drought after Drew Brees retires? Of course. Every team needs to adjust to such a huge hit like that. I do think we are going to be a solid 9-7, maybe reaching 10-6 team this season. Drew Brees leaves because I do not think that with all of this money, our aggressive front office won't make some moves to give Teddy Bridgewater the best possible situation that he can have. I know you guys might have been expecting this video to be a mopey video, just reflecting on what it's going to be like when Drew Brees leaves, but no. That video is coming at a different time later this offseason. This one was just me breaking down the numerical things, the statistics, seeing if we can survive the dent of Drew Brees' departure. Do I think we can? Of course. I think we're going to flourish after Drew Brees leaves. We're going to be out of cap space hell that we've been in for the past couple of seasons, not being able to make any aggressive moves during free agency except for Mickey Loomis going and somehow creating cap space that didn't exist before. We are in really good hands. Teddy Bridgewater, take it away. It's your time. With that being said, I'll see y'all in the next one. Adios.